Hi everyone, welcome back to another video for Phantasy Star Online 2 New Genesis. So today's video is going to be kind of similar to the last NGS video that we did. So in the last NGS video we covered how to upgrade from the Selio series of weapons up to the Duo Selio and how to upgrade the Trestasis armours up to the Trestasis. In this video we're going to cover the new additions, which are the Tri Selio weapons and the new upgrade for Trestasis as well. So it works kind of similar to the previous upgrade path. Now, the new weapon series, the Tri Selio, are again still 11 stars, and the new armours are still 10 star, but they are a significant upgrade over the previous set. So the way you get them is kind of similar to how we got the Duo Selios. So they are obtained by getting a few different items and then using a thing called item upgrade augment transfer. So with that being said, let's go ahead and let's show you how to actually upgrade them. So the upgrade process is actually really simple. It's kind of similar to the Duo Selio. So it's all done via the item trader, which there is one in every main city. So I'm in Styria at the moment, so Sakura is the item trader in Styria. So when you speak to her, there is an option here at the bottom called Equipment Upgrade Augment Transfer, which, if you remember from the last video, is what we use to turn the Selio weapons into Duo Selio. When you select this, you can see at the top we've got all the new Tri Selio weapons. And then if we go further down, you can see we also have the new Trestasis armours, of which there are 3 different types. And then under that, we still do have all the Duo Selio and Trestasis gear as well. Now, the interesting thing about the Tri Selio series is that you don't actually need to have a Duo Selio to make them. So you can skip straight from Selio up to Tri Selio. So if I want to make these Tri Selio daggers, for example, you can see that the first thing it shows me here in the requirements is that we need Duo Selio daggers, 150 Evolevolt 2s, 300 Evolevolt 1s, and 400 Prograde grinders. However, if we then look at the other exchange pattern for it, you can see the other option is to use Selio daggers instead. So again, just to show you that, we'll go from Duo Selio to Selio. If you choose this method, you use Selio daggers instead. So this is really useful for, say you found an Selio weapon that's got a really nice fixer on it, for example. This is a really good way of directly upgrading that Selio straight into a Tri Selio. Now, as you would expect, there is no real method to shortcut this, so don't think that by going from Selio to Tri Selio that you're gaming the system or anything like that. The amount that you need to upgrade is directly aligned to that. So you can see that if we upgrade from Duo Selio, we need 150 Evolevolt 2s, 300 Evolevolt 1s, and 400 Prograde grinders. If we go from an Selio dagger though, we need 150 Evolevolt 2s still, but then we need 450 Evolevolt 1s and 600 Prograde grinders. So these 2 items go up significantly. And the reason for that is because then if we go down to the Duo Selio daggers, you can see that these themselves require 150 Evolevolt 1s and 200 Prograde grinders. So this 200 and this 150 are just added onto the cost. So you're not really skipping anything by going straight to a Tri Selio, but it is an ideal way of, if you find a really nice Selio weapon, it's an ideal way of just fast tracking it to Tri Selio straight away. However, the majority of people are probably going to have upgraded the gear to Duo Selio already. So in that instance, you're probably going to be upgrading from Duo Selio to Tri Selio. So once you select this, it'll ask you to select all the materials. It's worth noting that everything transfers over to the Tri Selio. So your grind level will carry over, any potential that it's got on it will carry over, any affixes, so all of that will carry over, including your fixes, I believe, as well. So it doesn't really matter if you grind an affix before or after, to be honest, because it'll carry over regardless. But don't think that you have to grind everything again once you upgrade, that's not the case. Similarly, for the new armours, for the Trestasis armours, these require a Trestasis armour, 50 Extravance 2s, 100 Extravance 1s, and 200 Prograde grinders. Now there are a few different methods of upgrading to this, so that's one method. You can also exchange up to, you can also use the Vida, VO, or base Trestasis armours. So if this is confusing, basically if you look at the Trestasis armours, there are 3 different types that you can upgrade your Exorcist armours to. So what this is allowing you to do is, say for example, if you upgrade an Exorcist armour to a Trestasis VO, when you go to the Trestasis armours, you can see this first option actually just requires a Trestasis armour. So this wouldn't work for you because you've got a VO. But if we look at the other patterns, you can see that this one requires a Vida, this one requires a VO, which would work for you. Or you can go again straight from the Exorcist armour. Again, the requirements are balanced, so you do use more materials to go straight from the Exorcist, but you are skipping that middle stage out if you want to do it that way. Now, next thing we need to cover is how to get the materials. So we already covered in the Duo Selio and Trestasis video how to get the Evolavolt ones and the Progress grinders. Just as a reminder, the Evolavolt ones tend to drop from trials, and the Progress grinders tend to drop from regular enemies usually. So essentially the best ways to run it at the minute is probably to run Nose Implant in Steer, because that has a lot of trials in it, and especially if you can get PSE bursts as well, you'll massively increase the amount of enemies you get, so it's a good way of farming them. For the Evolavolt 2s though, they are a new item, as are the Extra Advanced 2s. So these again tend to drop from trials, and these again are limited to your mini-tier combat zones, so mainly Noise Implant and Dex Base. I would probably go more towards Noise Implant just because you do seem to get trials more often there. And it's a more condensed area as well, so you tend to find that the mobs kind of group up more anywhere. It's also very easy to get PSE burst there as well, which, if you know, rare drop rate actually has an influence on drops like this. So if you can get a PSE burst in somewhere like Noise and then use rare drop tickets, you are probably going to noticeably increase your amount of extra advanced drops. So it is worth doing. There are some other ways at the moment of getting them as well. So I believe, I could be wrong on this, but I believe that the new Darkfall Solus rank 2 quest also drops them. That is quite a tough quest, and I believe is only a limited time one as well. So I would probably recommend doing that if it's on. It does also drop these quite useful badges that you can get as well that you can exchange for some other stuff. Some pretty decent capsules. So that's probably worth running. There are other ways of getting them potentially as well, but I would recommend that your fastest way and most reliable way at the moment is probably going to be by doing just spamming Noise Implant. The current, at time of recording, limited time quest also drops them as well, but to be honest, the drop rate isn't great for them. You tend to get about 2 per run usually of the Evolavolt 2s and the Extra Advanced 2s. So around about 2 a run. The run itself is pretty short, it is quite a quick quest to do, but you are going to have to run it quite a lot. Now, there is one advantage to running it quite a lot at the moment. So at the moment, if you go into your tasks and quests and you go into your limited time tab, there is a lot of orders here for running the limited time quest. Now, I've already completed one of them, but for this you actually get things like hairstyles and outfits. Now, the downside of this is that the hairstyles all seem to be PSO2 spec rather than NGS spec, which is a bit poor, honestly. But there are some NGS spec outfits you can get from this as well. So I've done it 5 times so far, as you can see. I believe for running it 3 times you get the Magia the Magia Ponytail you get 1 copy of for doing it 3 times. And you might get something else as well. But you can see here, for running it 5 times, for running it 10 times, you get Magia Earring Shadow and the Teal Ramard Hat, plus add preset skills level 1. It's also worth noting you get 2 of those items as well, so you can unlock them for all characters. For running it 15 times, you get the Magia Shadow, and again 2 of them, and the Seminarian Glasses, again 2 of them, and an enhancement success rate plus 100%. For running it 20 times, you get 1 copy of Magia Savior and SEGA, which are outfits. You only get 1 copy there. Then you do get a 2nd copy for running it 30 times, and you also get another Magia Ponytail and another Symmetrical Wing Short, which you only got 1 of earlier. There's a nice way of getting some essentially free outfits, and the Magia Savior and SEGA are NGS spec. So quite a nice little freebie for just running the limited time quest, and you are also going to be getting some of those Evolvault 2s and Extra Advanced 2s while you're doing it, so I would recommend running the LTQ at the moment. It's not the most fun LTQ, honestly. It is kind of a rerun of last year's, but it is probably worth doing just for the free stuff. Similarly, if you run the Omen of the Planet Breaker rank 2, the Soulless quest that we mentioned earlier, you do also get things for doing that as well. So if you run it 3 times, you get the fantastically named Power Mullet and 20 star gems. For 6 times, you get Silphos Mask B and an Add Preset Skills level 1. You actually get 2 of the masks, actually. Or running it 10 times, you get 500,000 Mazetta and a Shadowy Hakama V2. Run it 15 times, you get another Shadowy Hakama V2 and another Power Mullet. So again, really good way of getting some free gear there as well. And again, with that quest dropping those Extra Advanced 2s and Evolvault 2s, it's another way of getting a few of them. Obviously the downside is you can only run it when the urgent quest's on. So definitely consider running those at the moment as well. Yeah, it is probably worth upgrading to Tri Selio and the Trestasis. They do seem like a relatively big upgrade. So I would recommend doing it if you can. It is going to be a bit of farming because it is quite a lot of materials to get them, but I would definitely recommend going for it overall. We don't know at this point if there's going to be any further upgrades to this series or not, so for the time being it probably is just worth going for the Tri Selio. I'm assuming that if they do add a 4th version that you'll probably be able to upgrade the Tri Selio to it anyway, so there's no harm in upgrading to Tri Selio at the minute. So yeah, with that, we will end that video there. As usual, if you enjoyed the video, please consider liking, subscribing, or joining as a member. I do 2 streams a week normally, where we play a variety of Phantasy Star games and other games occasionally during the week as well. I do 2 videos a week as well, which again, at the moment they're all Phantasy Star, but I am planning to do some other content for other games as well, like Monster Hunter. You can also follow me on Twitter at Section Skyline, and we've also got a Discord you can join as well, so feel free to join us over there. So yeah, I know it's a pretty short video today, but hope you've enjoyed that, and hopefully see you guys in the next one.